Sometimes the most uncomfortable thing to do is the exactly step you need to take. Um, Let me try to get this right. Um, the brain, especially when you're under stress, in anxiety or duress, always tends to find a quick relief, and that's going back to the old familiar or stay, um, where an unpredictable yet better future is out there waiting for you. Now I'm speaking in life situations in general, physical places or where you shouldn't stay and leave. But the harder part is in relationships, and this is where I'm coming from when talking about when relationships are okay. Let's use the word toxic, or when there is emotional, mental, psychological abuse. Um, I'm not going into the labels because they're not fully bulletproof. There's overlap, but people talk a lot about narcissism and all that kind of stuff. And you're gonna get lost in all the information you get online. It's not so hard to define what you're dealing with if you are able to listen to what's going on within. But it's extremely hard when you're in that situation, and this is the pattern that you're gonna have to force to break. You have to see that when you're walking on eggshells, when you are under stress, emotional stress, when there is psychological abuse or emotional abuse, and you might not even recognize it, and you might have carried it for such a long time that you just accept it as normal, then you're in the right place. We're going to get to everything to get that clear too, and it's actually easier than you think. People get stuck in loops searching for their exact video for that matches their exact situation, and then still it's hard to take that step and break the pattern. If you're in a general situation, if it's housing or a job or whatever, it's a little bit easier to cut things off. But when it's a dear friend, and even more difficult when it's your partner, and even perhaps stronger, and I can relate to that, if it's family members that you feel you need to be loyal to. But let's say it's a partner, and you actually know there's something off. You know the door is right there, and there are moments of short clarity should go out, but you could be in a situation that you're unsure, you're afraid, there is anxiety, maybe you're financially dependent, but it's only when you take that step out when the magic will happen. And the brain will always go, especially when you're anxious, confused, low confidence, under pressure, will always choose the familiar, even if staying or going back will come with the same pain, and that will slam into your face, and it will just only grow more. And taking a step out doesn't need to be the perfect step immediately for your life, but it's growth, and from that you take the next and the next. I think I'm going to keep it this like it is, but I will talk about it a little bit more. This is a huge pattern that I learned to see, but then the next step is to break it, but as well really understand what's happening here. And the brain doesn't like unfamiliar, but once you kind of tell that brain like, hey, you stay quiet for a while, this is what I sense, I feel I need to do, you go do it, so much opportunities open up. And yeah, your brain will love it eventually. But this is just how it works. Anxiety, especially when you control the manipulation, when you walk on eggshells, always stress triggered. If your nervous system has no real place and option to rest. So this is especially the hardest when you're in relationships that are like that, controlling, manipulative, or abusive. Um, that's the ultimate. I mean, if it's a job or a location, it's a little bit easier to detach from. I want you to recognize this, and maybe you have some moments of little moments of clarity, like oof, you feel some openness and freedom, and I should take a step, but then the brain goes immediately, nah, but what if this and what happens then, and you choose the familiar. And with this kind of abuse, there's a lot of guilt, shame, projection involved. Confidence becomes lower and lower, and the longer you stay in, the harder it becomes to get out. And that's what I always say. But don't worry. And even if you're already left, but you're still going back and forth, even in your mind or even physical, towards a certain person, there will be a moment that you need to feel it, yeah, but then break the loop. And instead of reaching out or going back, just wait for 24 hours. Do that first. Let the panic spike. Yet, yes, when you, for instance, take that step, there will be pain. It's not immediately gonna leave your body. Actually, there's a lot that comes up after everything that's been suppressed. And then you might think, oh, actually, it's worse now than when I was still in there. But short after, things become so much better, and you become free, and that all that stuff can be released. But yeah, when you stay in it, it will just gradually, like a silent killer, grow and become harder to get out of. I'm gonna stop now, but this is a first introduction to, well, let's say this topic, and very clear recognition of pattern, but as well literally science and what the brain does, and why people and many stay stuck in unhealthy, toxic situations, especially relationships that they should be leaving, for their own sake, for their own health, not to punish anybody else, but just for you to live your life authentically, growing and being able to grow and meet the love that you're supposed to meet in life, and do the things that you're supposed to do in life, including your purpose and the dreams that you probably buried. They are real, and the visions too, and they will come to pass once you take those steps. But yeah, sometimes it's with trembling feet, but that's when the magic happens, and that comes after taking those steps. All right, be back. Big hug, big love. Bye.